Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Temasek Polytechnic School of Applied Science Diploma in Medical Biotechnology webinar. I'm Dr. Zhang Pengchi, the course chair of the Diploma in Medical Biotechnology. And today I'll be one of the speakers and the moderator of the webinar. In this webinar, we hope to share with you what students will learn in the Diploma in Medical Biotechnology course, as well as the career opportunities for students who would graduate from this course. So we are very happy today to have with us our industry partner, who is also one of our alumni, and another speaker who is our current student, to share with you about the career opportunities and the experience in the diploma. So let me introduce you our panel of speakers. So for today's speakers, besides me, I will be one of the speakers, and then another speaker is Mr. Chen Hong Steven. He is a junior research fellow at the Temasek Life Sciences Laboratory. He's also a PhD candidate at the National University of Singapore. He was a receiver of Kombu Hui Scholarship and Nanyang President Research Scholarship. He's currently doing research on molecular biology and plant-related. So another speaker is our current year one student, Ms. Tarina Tay Yen Wen. She's also a member of the Medical Biotechnology Interest Group. So these are the speakers. Then before we start, let me show you a short video about this course.
Hey, did you know that the diplomas in Biomedical Science and Biotechnology have been merged? And it's now called the Diploma in Medical Biotechnology. But wait, there's more. It'll also be Singapore's first MOE-approved Medical Biotechnology Diploma. You can now do a new personalized medicine research option during your course of study. This option will familiarize you with the emerging trends in biotechnology and biomedical science whilst preparing you for the career of your choice. You'll also get to be part of a collaborative training program with established major hospitals and attend lectures conducted by seasoned medical practitioners from the healthcare sector. Career prospects for graduates are extremely promising. You can look forward to taking up the following posts in the biotechnology, biomedical, and healthcare sectors. To find out more, visit tp.edu.sg today.
Okay, through the video, you understand that the Diploma in Medical Biotechnology can be considered as a merger of the previous two diplomas. One is called Diploma in Biotechnology, and another is Diploma in Biomedical Science. So currently for the 5 polytechnics, only Republic Poly has both Diploma in Biotechnology and Biomedical Science. Other 4 polytechnics either do not have these 2 diplomas or only have one. For example, Ngee and the Singapore Poly only have the Diploma in Biomedical Science, and they do not have Diploma in Biotechnology. So if you're not sure which one you should choose, biotechnology or biomedical science, you can join this diploma in medical biotechnology, since we cover both diplomas. Although it is not a simple combination of 2 diplomas. In a later time, I will talk about more details. So after joining this course, in the second year, the students can choose to go for either biotechnology or biomedical science related diploma options. So if you don't, because you can choose the diploma options in year 2, so you don't need to decide it now. You can just join, and only from the second year you start to think about which path I'm more interested in. Yeah. So what are the differences between these two, biotechnology and biomedical science? Previously, biotechnology is mainly to train the students to work in a research laboratory or biotech company testing labs. So biotechnology is mainly for biotechnology company and the research laboratory. Another one, biomedical science, is mainly to train students to work in a clinical laboratory who are working in either hospitals or private medical laboratories. So for this diploma, the Diploma in Medical Biotechnology, we cover both. And we have checked with many major industry partners, including research laboratories, biotechnology companies, and major hospitals. So our graduates can work in both areas. So this one is confirmed, was confirmed with the industry before we submit to MOE and get MOE's approval. So through this introduction, I hope you already gotten an idea of what are the major career pathways for this diploma. So if we have time, I will share more details later with you. Okay. So now let me invite the first speaker. We have Mr. Chen Hong Stephen to share his insights on his experience of working at research laboratory. Just now, I also mentioned that Mr. Chen is a junior research fellow at the Temasek Life Sciences Laboratory. So, Le Hong, Mr. Chen, now is your time. Okay.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Stephen. I was an alumni of Temasek Poly. I think I graduated in 2012, I think. Yeah, so it has been a while. So let's bring up my slides. I'd like to share with you my journey and why I think TP has left a huge impact in me. Yeah, so over here, the title of my short presentation is From Decided Temasek Poly Student to a Scientific Research Adventure that I'm doing right now. So next slide, please. Yeah, so actually back then when I graduated, my L1, R4 and L1, R5, I'm not sure whether the terms are still the same, but it's English and four other subjects. I got 12 points, and L1, R5, I got 15 points. I think it is relatively okay to enter Polytechnic. Not the best JC, but at the point of time, I also don't have any CCA point. So my top three choices at the time was biomedical science in Singapore Poly. The cutoff point was 10. Then applied drama and psychology at Singapore Poly. And the third choice was biotechnology. Unfortunately, in the first round, I didn't get biomedical. I got an applied drama and psychology. But some series of events changed my life. Actually, quite forever, I would say. Next slide, please. Yeah, so back then I was still thinking, oh no, am I going to do applied drama and psychology? Actually, I was quite interested in drama at that point of time. But I received an email telling me that Temasek Poly needed to get to me urgently. I mean, in my heart, I always wanted to do science. I fared quite well in biology during O levels, so I thought that I wanted to do biology. I mean, but if drama came, if applied drama and psychology came, then so be it. I'm also willing to do it. But this email came all of a sudden. Then this email said that TP needed to speak to me urgently. This was before the confirmation of my joint admission exercise. Next slide, please. Then when they called me, they tell me that yes, they have a slot for me. They have a slot and willing to offer me a position, a place in Temasek Poly Biotechnology. Am I willing to take it up? So actually, without hesitation, I just decided around maybe 5 to 30 minutes, and I decided that yeah, I'll do my education in Temasek Poly. So after that, I make a decision, and I accept the course. I think back then was T34 biotechnology, and and the confirmation letter came quite quickly. Next slide, please. Yeah. So in summary, my 3 years of TP experience was I summarize it in these 3 points. It was crazy, self-exploratory. I was exploring the limits, what I could do or what I couldn't do. So I did things that what I felt was good, what I felt wasn't so good. It was also enriching. There's valuable practical skills and experience that all students will have. I think even university, we don't get that much practical skills, but in Polytechnic, the practical skills are tremendous. There's a lot of practical skills, experience, and time that the lecturers are willing to give to you. And third is the hard work and exposure. Next slide, please. Yeah, so about craziness. So I ran through some of the old pictures from my old Facebook archive, and here I have on the left I have some some fun photos with my friends, with my classmates actually. And on the right, this was I think we're near graduation then already. So the person with the red arrow, I just noticed that he's working at the same place that I'm working at right now. I mean, all these friends are very good friends. I think in Polytechnic, I met many good friends that helped me through. I think I was quite a mager, or I won't say mager, but quite a nerd actually. But I have good friends that covered me. Next slide, please. Yeah, on enriching and valuable practical skills and experience. I think this is a key takeaway of Polytechnic education. I think majority of the time in Poly, I think around 30 to 40% of the time is dedicated to practical sessions. Practical sessions where you get hands-on experience with pipettes, with laminar flow. Although this seems to be very fundamental basic skills, but actually even in university we don't get this much experience. At the same time, I still remember that back then there was this program known as DRP, I think differential research program, where during the study breaks or during the semester breaks, we can do research projects with lecturers. So all this left quite a huge impact in my Polytechnic education. Yeah, so I think the lab experience is intensive, immersive, and also applicable. Next slide, please. Yeah, and the third is hard work and exposure. So as I proceed on to second year and third year, I was given more opportunities. I think opportunities came when I performed well in certain areas, and school gave me the opportunity to attend certain events. One event is such as a pre-university seminar, which on the top left. On the right is ASEAN Science and Entrepreneurship Challenge, is ASEC. Quite exciting. I think we got to work overnight for a scientific challenge and produce a product. On the bottom left is NEAYEE. This is a Youth Environmental Envoy program, where I was enrolled to be a Youth Environmental Envoy. And even to university, I continue to do much environmental work. And on the bottom right, I went on to Vietnam to do my SIP, my student internship program, and that was around 5 months. And yeah, very memorable experience. I mean, one of my best experience during my Polytechnic education. Next slide, please. Yep. So people always think that for Polytechnic students, students who choose Polytechnic over JC are termed as a second-class students. But I would say that that's not true. That's totally not true. I think Polytechnic gives you a very specific and targeted education, a very in-depth education. You can explore the depth by yourself. And here I wish to prove that notion wrong. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. Yeah. So, in my university, I think in my 3 years of university, I worked very hard, and it was very exciting for me also. So at the end of my university education, I was awarded the Kobuwi Scholar, which is the top 5% of NTU graduates. I also graduated as a valedictorian of my class, which of the biological science and biomedical science in NTU. I was also a co-author in a reputable journal, the Nature Communications. I published a topic close to my heart, which is on photosynthesis or plants, or plant work, with my professor Oliver Muller-Kea and my mentor Dr. Tobias Wunder. Yeah, so that summarized my journey. I mean, my journey from Polytechnic to university. I'd like to move on to what I'm doing right now. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, right now towards a PhD. So I'm doing my PhD in NUS, in Temasek Life Science Laboratory. I'm studying plant biology, specifically with a specific focus on non-coding RNAs, on how they regulate plant responses to stress. So I'll summarize my PhD journey in these 5 words: it's curiosity, it's an adventure. There's a lot of hardship. There's definitely a lot of excitement, and every one of us who is doing research all do have a dream. I write a short post, or prose on what that summarizes my feelings or my thoughts on the PhD program. Next slide, please. Yeah, and this is the second last slide. I think, this is I'm not sure whether this will sound well, but it's written yesterday night. But let me try. So I think why is a question driven by curiosity, and curiosity is about how the natural is driven by curiosity, and it's because we are curious about how the natural world works. It's also a venture to explore the unknown. Despite hardship and perseverance, setbacks and heartbreaks are inevitable. Excitement comes when a hypothesis turns out to be true, and I dream that one day the discoveries can make a difference in the world. I think that summarizes a lot of the emotions and what the thoughts of researchers is. We are always excited. We have a dream. We have a vision. Hardship and perseverance are needed, and setbacks and heartbreaks are always common. And when some results turns out to be true, then it's really exciting, and hopefully the results that we find can make a difference in the world. I think that's what we want to see. And on to the last slide. Yeah, so the key takeaway for my brief presentation is, firstly, be bold with your choice. I think a lot of O-level students, or like me back then, mothers and fathers play a huge role. But sometimes we just got to ask ourselves what we want to do and make a choice. The most important thing is to make your own choice. Is not make your mother's or your friends or your father's choice. Is make your own decision. That's most important to me. And second, TP has been and will always be a memorable place for me. It has given me the opportunity and platform for me to learn, for me to explore myself. I made mistakes, but I also learned a lot of good things. And lastly, TP can be a place where everyone or young students like you can get trained and to be a great scientist. Yep. So that's all for me. I hope you all enjoy your holidays, and hope you get excellent O-level results. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Le Hong, for the interesting sharing. Just now, when Le Hong shared, he mentioned about DRP program, the differential research program. Yes, we still have that. That is very special for TP. Only TP Applied Science School we have this type of program. That means what is that? Is the first year students. After the first year, they already have the chance to follow a supervisor to do the real research project, or other clinical related project. So this is a very special program designed by TP Applied Science School. So our diploma still has this program. Okay, and he also mentioned that in the Polytechnic teaching, the practical skills are, yes, the practical skills are still the most important, since we train students mainly for workplace. Okay, thanks Le Hong for the interesting sharing. So the Q&A platform is open for questions. Please post your questions using the QR code. We will answer your questions at the Q&A session, which is later after all the speakers have finished their sharing. But now you can start to post your questions. So now I give you a few seconds, maybe 10 to 20 seconds, to scan the QR code. If you have any question to Le Hong or to later speakers, then you can, or you already have any questions in your mind, you can start to key in your questions, then upload the questions. Later at the Q&A session, we will answer most of the questions. Okay. If time allowed, we'll answer all the questions. Okay. Okay. So at the same time, when you are posting your questions, let's take a look. Let's watch a short video done by our students, which will introduce another career pathway for Medical Biotechnology Diploma. So let's watch another video. Okay, so the medical biotechnology is mainly to train the students to work in two major areas. One is in the research laboratory, one is in the clinical laboratory, or also called medical laboratory. So Le Hong, just now the Mr. Chen Le Hong shared about the working in the research lab. So the video showed just now is talking about the working in the medical laboratory. Medical laboratory is either in the hospital or in the private medical laboratory. So I talk about those labs in the hospital. In the hospital, to do the test for patient or for the specimens sent by the patient, sent by the medical doctors, for example, blood, urine, tissue, there are five major areas or five major departments. One is clinical chemistry. Another one is clinical microbiology. And the third one is hematology. So these three are the major departments in the hospital testing labs. The other two, there are also other two types of laboratories. One is histopathology, and another last one is blood banking. So for these five laboratories are the major laboratories for those who work in the hospital medical laboratories. So this diploma in medical biotechnology covers all the five areas, especially when for those students in the second year, they start to choose the so-called medical laboratory technology diploma option. They will learn all these five areas. So after graduation, they will be very confident to work in this area. Okay, so this is the introduction of this pathway compared to the research one. So the two major career pathway for this diploma, one is go to research laboratory or biotechnology company testing laboratory. Another one is the clinical laboratory. So I hope now you understand what is a research laboratory and what is the clinical laboratory and what are the differences. So now I hope you have already keyed in some questions, and now let's hear another speaker's sharing. Another speaker, Miss Tarina, is our year 2 student. Tarina is also one of the student leaders of Medical Biotechnology Interest Group. So Tarina, it's your time. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Chang. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tarina, currently in my second year of study. Today, I will be sharing about my journey thus far as a medical biotechnology student in Temasek Poly. So before I begin, allow me to share a bit more about myself. In secondary school, I was in the double pure science stream, taking both chemistry and physics. So right now, some of you might be wondering why I want to take up a course that isn't much relevant to what I studied in secondary school. So during my streaming year, I did not know what was best for me, and I just accepted what I was offered. However, I didn't realize that physics wasn't my strength, and it's not something that I really enjoyed studying. So I also kind of grew passion towards biology. So here I am in this course. So my main point is for all the graduates here, do not be too restricted by what you're currently studying. It's definitely okay to take up or try something new as long as you have a strong passion towards it. Be adventurous, and what matters most would be whether or not you enjoy studying this course. Even more, year 1 is really building on our fundamentals, so don't worry that you won't be able to catch up. Our lecturers are also very friendly and approachable. To provide some insights on what we do and learn in this diploma, I have collated some pictures that I took during the lab sessions. The 4 pictures on the left are culturing of specimens on agar plates to isolate bacteria, which we will then use the information like the morphology to determine further testing and identification of the bacterial species. Specimen you will be dealing can range from blood all the way to pus or even stool samples. The picture with 4 tubes on the right is to test the glucose level in each patient's urine specimen. To sum up my first part of sharing, I would like to share a quote with you by Steve Jobs. He said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it, keep looking." So for those who are still unsure on what course you would like to take on, there are still time for you to explore your interests and passion before the application period begins. I also like to recommend you to really take some time during this long break to discover your interests and think what you want to achieve after your 3 years of study. One way to look into the suitability of the course will be just checking out the modules you will be learning on the Polytechnic website. As for MBT, you can search T64 in TP on Google. Moving on, I'll be talking about the extracurricular activities available for students other than the usual CCAs that we took in secondary school. There are a total of 5 different diplomas under the School of Applied Science, in short ASC, and MBT is one of them. For each diploma, there is an interest group that will come up with events to enrich and enhance the welfare of the students under their own diploma. Besides interest group, ASC also have the ASC Studies Club, which do events catered to all the students under ASC. For both the Studies Club and interest group, every year there will be recruitment of new subcommittee and main committee members. The main committee members will mainly be the ones planning, while the subcom member will be assisting and executing the event. They will also be able to get a glimpse on how projects were planned and executed. So here are some events like volunteering events and bonding camps the MBT interest group have planned. And our MBT interest group name is called MBIG, which is the abbreviation of Medical Biotech Interest Group. Next slide. Thank you. Then here are some of the events ASC Studies Club also plan. They are usually the ones that are in charge of open house, freshman orientation, and occasional blood donation drives within the campus. So if you happen to join TP and you want an enriching and fun-filled life, do join us to serve the school. While it will help to broaden your social circle, it's also a great opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and build on your leadership portfolio. With that, I have come to the end of my sharing. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best for your O-level results. Do remember to have an open mind when you're exploring your interests and always have a work-life balance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tarina, for your sharing. And Tarina shared some interesting activities in the TP. So in TP, we are not only studying is very important, but we are not only train you for study. Studying well is a must, but studying well is not the only life at TP. So we also have many other activities and the interest group, TP school level study club, and the TP level student group. We have also different CCA groups for you to join. Okay. Once again, I would like to thank both speakers for the sharing. So please remember to post questions on platforms. Okay. So when you are posting your questions on the platforms, I would like to introduce more details of this course. Let me see my slides. Okay. Okay. So medical biotechnology. Just now I already told you. It's like a merger from the previous biotechnology and biomedical science, but you cannot just simply consider it as a just simple combination of two diplomas, combining all the subjects together. No, actually, before we submit the course structure to MOE, we have visited many industry partners. We send them the course structure, ask them the opinion, ask them their feedback. Then they are very sometimes they're very harsh. They in front of us they tell us, no, this will not work. This is not industry one. What is industry one? They tell us all the details. Then we modified different versions. We send another version. Then we send another version until the third version. They started to feel all the industry people. Then start to feel very excited about it. They said this island. Many, not just a simple combination of two diplomas. Actually, it needs to work with the industry for a long time and come out the best version to train the students. After graduation, we can make sure that they can immediately get job, because Polytechnic is still many trained students for workplace. Okay, so because of this, we are not only training our students for the traditional job, for the current job. The current two major jobs, one is working in the research lab, biotechnology company, and another one is in the clinical laboratories. These are still the current jobs. Our students definitely no issue. They can work in these three areas, but we also train them in the emerging areas. For example, regenerative medicine, cell therapy, precision medicine research, and synthetic biology. And these are the comments from the industry industry partners. they told us we should also train students in these areas. Because these are all the emerging areas comes in Singapore, and when students after graduation, even after NS, after many years, they still can find job. So this is a whole idea of how this course is designed for the future course and for both current and future course. Okay. One is called Medical Laboratory Technology. It trains students to mainly work in a clinical laboratory. Another one is Personalized Medicine Research. It's mainly trains students to work in a research laboratory or biotechnology industry testing laboratories. Just now, I already talked about the details of the medical laboratory technology. Now I want to talk about more details about the personalized medicine research. Personalized medicine research, we get a feedback from the industry people every year. So we ask what are needed in the companies. Usually every year comes back, they told us the first they need is molecular biology technology. Second one is cell technology. Third one is biochemical analysis. Then the fourth one is microbiology technology. So for this option, we will also cover all these 4 areas. So for students who choose this diploma option, it will cover all these 4 areas. And when we talk to the industry partners, we also found what happened recently is that the research laboratory, and both research laboratory and the clinical laboratory, they are hiring the graduates from both biotechnology background and who has biomedical science background. So the boundary between these two, biotechnology and biomedical science, becomes not that clear. And employers are hiring graduates from both areas. For this diploma in medical biotechnology, actually we cover both. So the graduates, no matter which diploma, can work in both areas. This one we have confirmed with the major industry partners already. So this one is confirmed. So for students, in the 3rd year, they will have a chance to choose one of the 2 major elective clusters. One is translational medical research, which is a deeper study of working in the research laboratory. Another one is clinical laboratory practice, which is learning more for working in the clinical laboratory. So the career pathways, just now I already mentioned the 2 major one. The laboratory technician, clinical laboratory technician, and research technician. They can also work in the biopharmaceutical industry as for example, a scientific officer or QA/QC technologist. QA is quality assurance. QC is quality control. So they can also be the QA/QC specialist or technologist. Okay, next slide, please. Next one. Okay, so for the previous one, yeah. Oh, cannot go back, right? Okay, thanks. Okay, okay. So application of medical biotechnology can be divided into 2 major areas. So one is, for example, we can see that it can develop innovative products for disease testing. For example, now the COVID-19, we can develop the diagnostic kit, which is done by the recently Singapore. If you read newspapers, you know that Singapore come out with the golden standard of COVID-19 testing. That who did that? A-Star EDDC. Okay, A-Star One Institute EDDC. They come up the golden standard of COVID-19 test. This is in the newspaper already. This is part of what medical biotechnology medical biotechnologists do. Okay, another one is discover new drugs and vaccines, not only for COVID-19, for many things, for dengue, for other things. So this is also done, but this is also part of what Singapore scientists is doing. They can also produce therapeutics, the new drugs, new treatment. And another area, this is the major area for the biotechnology part. Then another area for biomedical science, for example, diagnose disease and perform biochemical analysis on human samples. So these biomedical science people, they use what biotechnology scientists develop. For example, biotechnology scientists, they develop new diagnostic kit for COVID-19. Then the clinical laboratory staff, they will use those kits. They just buy the kit from the market, use those kits to do the test, to provide service. So you can see the major difference between these two, but this diploma combined both. Okay, next slide, please. So this is just what I mentioned just now. It covered two major areas. Okay, next slide, please. For this diploma, we have we also have some special subjects. For example, one subject is a year 2 subject everyone will take. It's called bioapplications. Bioapplications, the students will then themselves, after learning for nearly 1.5 years, they themselves will start to propose some ideas. Propose ideas to try to develop something, to invent something, and then produce some prototypes and then submit for competition or collaborate with different industries for further investigation. Okay, so next, please. So we also have a 6 months student internship at the last semester, 6 months. So we'll send them to different local and overseas industries. Only this year, because of COVID-19, we cannot send them to overseas industries. Next slide. So these are just some examples. For example, we send them to SGH, Thermo Fisher, Duke NUS, A-Star. The Thai Biotech is a national laboratory in Thailand. Okay, next slide, please. So we also send them to China, Harbin Medical University, to Australia. One example is RMIT University to do different real project. So this is the whole, this is some more details I shared you about this diploma. So I hope you have already submitted your questions. It's time to answer your questions. Let's see if you have any questions. Okay. Okay, the first question, does MBT have modules on plants? I'm interested in plant biology. Yes, this one, we don't have a specific module on plant, but we have several topics and also practical lessons on plants. Because for medical biotechnology, medicinal materials, many medicinal materials are plants. So plants, how to understand the plants, so you can further understand the medicinal materials. So yes, we have. For example, the bioapplications. Recently, we have students to grow the microgreens, and they learn the plant cell technology skills to grow the plant. And these are very useful technology. Yes, we have. Okay. Next question. Next question is, what is the progression like for a medical technologist? Okay. You have two choices after graduation, or for gentlemen after NS, for girls, for ladies after the graduation, you have two options. One is directly apply for a job. After 3 years of study at TP, you can immediately apply for a job. The second option is go for further study, to get a degree. Okay, so no matter which option you go, there are still two areas. One is clinical, one is research or biotechnology company. So for clinical laboratory, we have confirmed with the hospitals, you don't need to apply for a degree. You just work well. It depends on your ability, how you perform in the clinical laboratory. If you perform well, you can go through the junior medical technologist to a higher level. They have different hospital is different. Usually they have around 8 levels, so you can go through the lower level to higher level to higher level to higher level. It depends on your performance. But in some years, if you are in a clinical laboratory as a medical technologist, in some years, if you want to go for further study, some hospitals, a few hospitals, if you perform very well, they may also sponsor you to go for further study. But of course, after graduation, you need to come back to the same hospital to work. Okay, so that's the progression for medical technologies. Finally, you can go to become a senior medical technologist, or even the lab managers of that lab. So I hope I think you are just asking this medical technology which is working in the clinical laboratory, right? So I also mentioned if it's in the research laboratory, you can be a research assistant, research officer after getting a diploma holder. I think after getting a diploma. But if you want to be be a supervisor, be a research scientist, be a supervisor or in the laboratory, you may need to get a postgraduate degree. Okay, so that's the answer for this question. Next question. What are the major challenges of working in the research laboratory? Maybe this one, Stephen, Mr. Chen Hong, which is also Stephen. Do you have any comments on this question? What are the major challenges for working in the research lab?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Zhang. Yeah, thanks for the question. I think for researchers, first, I think creativity is very important. So we have to be creative. We have to think about new ideas. Doing science is not just about answering questions that we are, definitely it's about answering questions that we're interested in, but we also need to answer very practical and also exciting questions. So how do we spot this kind of questions is one of the major challenge of working in the research lab. Another challenge is like what I say, the heartbreaks and the hard work. Working in a lab demands huge amount of hours and dedication to your work, because as cells grow, cells do not take holidays. Cells do not enjoy Christmas, so you still need to come back on Christmas to subculture or to replenish the media. If not, your cells will die. So lack of balance is one of the key challenge that everyone need to manage as a researcher.
Okay, thanks, Lahong. Yeah. Okay, next question. It is slower at my side. I cannot see the next question. How do you cope with the interest group and the studying? I think this question is to Miss Tarina. So Tarina, you are both studying and you are also a member of the interest group. So how do you cope with all this? Yeah.
So I think like it really depends on whether you are under the subcommittee, are you like the member of subcommittee, or like you are the main committee member, because it's very different. Subcommittee member, it's more relaxed because you are just executing the events planned by the main committee members. And if you happen to be the main committee member, it's like there's additional responsibility, so it's a bit like, yeah. So for me myself, I'm currently the main committee member of Studies Club. So how do I actually like cope with studying? Like I do struggle a bit, but I think it's very important to have like time management, proper time management, as well as self-discipline. But if you ask me whether like I kind of regret my choice, I would say no, because I enjoy what I'm doing now, and I try to plan my time according to and prioritize my stuff. So yeah, I think time management is very important. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Tarina. Yes, time management is very important. Yes, I think this is a very good suggestion. I think this is true for not only studying Polytechnic and for everywhere. Okay, thanks, Tarina, for answering the question. Yeah. Next one. Was the transition from Poly to Uni difficult? Did the modules in Poly help? I think this one I will invite Mr. Chen Dai Hong to answer this question again. Okay, because he has the experience of going from Poly to Uni. So Le Hong, yeah.
Yeah, I think the good thing about studying from Poly is, I mean, compared to JC is, although Poly is 3 years, but when you go into university, you can undergo 1 year exemption if you are a graduate with a diploma with merit. Because that first year, actually, I mentioned that I studied 3 years in university. The conventional university is four years actually, but NTU can offer a 1 year complete exemption. The transition itself, I won't say it's tough, but you must take it. You shouldn't take it lightly. I took it very seriously, and so it so happens that once I took it seriously, it turns out to be easier. So I don't think there's there's any difficulty as long as you are willing to work hard and stay focused on your studies. I think there won't be much challenges.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Le Hong. Yeah. Okay, next question. How does COVID affect the medical biotechnology 9? Will my job be at risk if I pursue this? Okay. So the question is about how does COVID-19 affect the job of medical biotechnology? I tell you, for this year, because of COVID-19, many diploma graduates find it very difficult to find the jobs, but it is not for medical biotechnologists. Do you know why? The hospitals and industries ask us to send them graduates because they need large amount of graduates. It's not like previous years. For medical biotechnology graduates this year, one company asked me if we can send them 120 graduates. Another company told us they need 40. Another company told us they need 50. So I tell you, COVID-19 affect other diplomas, but COVID-19 did not definitely will not affect medical biotechnology because there are more jobs for medical biotechnology. So I tell you, this year, many of my graduates, we checked some of the graduates. Many of our fresh graduates, they have 2 to 3 offers at hand. So they have to choose one of it. Okay, they have to reject the others. They have to reject others because there are more jobs for medical biotechnology graduates this year. So especially for the COVID-19 test, because Singapore, we don't have enough graduates in this area for this medical biotechnology this area. So the government collaborate with TP. I don't know if some of you check TP website. We are conducting a short course. We're conducting a short course for those who has a biology or biomedical background, but is not working in this area. Just give them 2 weeks, short course to train them how to do COVID-19 tests. Then we send them to work in the clinical laboratory. So this is what we do because we don't have enough graduates in this area. So we are not only checking with fresh graduates. When the companies, when the hospitals ask us to give them more manpower, trained manpower, we also check previous 5 to 6 years graduates and ask them if they have job or not. If not, they can immediately apply for this job. But even like this, we still don't have enough graduates for the current job market. The job market is very big for medical biotechnologists because of the COVID-19. Okay, thanks. Next question. I think we may have only have time for. Okay, is there still any question? Right, I think we only have time for maybe one question. If no, I think although because we don't have enough time and because we have another session, so although we can't answer all your queries today, I hope this chat session has given you some ideas of possible career opportunities if you join this diploma in medical biotechnology. So we will have our open house in January. So do join us then, and more details will be on website soon. We also hope to improve our future sessions. So please help us by giving us your feedback while scanning a QR code for the phone. I will show you another QR code, but this QR code is different from the QR code for the Q&A. So please do help to fill the form. This form is very easy to fill. Just less than 1 minute, you may complete the form. Fill the form. So please give us some feedback to help us. Okay. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the session, and thank you so much for spending your hour with us. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.